reason why is because guys are outside, they had a few drinks, they're dangerous. To go outside, especially how nicely dressed Ruth was probably dressed up that night for Boaz. So, and if anyone gets caught, you are here, that would ruin both their reputations, and that wouldn't be pretty. So she laid at his feet until morning, didn't do anything inappropriate. Wake up early in the morning, something around like probably 4 to 5 a.m. when everyone is asleep. Sneak back home and go back to Naomi. Let's take a look at verse 15.
He also said, "Bring me the shawl you are wearing and hold it out." When she did so, he poured it into 6 measures of barley and put it on her. Then he went back to town.
Okay, now next slide. A shawl. Oh, I guess I don't have that. Okay, but I'll explain it. Shawl is a square, triangular, or long piece of wool or other material worn especially by women about the shoulder of, or the head and shoulder in the place of a coat or hat outdoors and indoors as protection against chill and dampness. Some translations would say garment. The only reason why I found that out was because I was reading NIV and it said shawl, and when I read the passage in ESV it says garment. Now barley. Barley is a widely distributed cereal plant belonging to the genus Hortum.
Good to know, good to know.
Can't really pronounce it, but and then so what we can see is that
they make beer out of it.
Oh yes, exactly. Exactly. So and then Ruth headed back home. Bet you at this time Naomi's freaking out and when we're like, oh, how did that when he's not home yet? Continue reading verse 16, 17.
When Ruth came to her mother-in-law, Naomi asked, "How did it go, my daughter?" Then she told her everything Boaz had done for her.
And added, "He gave me these 6 measures of barley, saying, don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed."
Don't go back to your mother-in-law empty-handed. He's a smart guy. He knows how to treat Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, if he later on wants to marry Ruth. That's like going up to your boyfriend or girlfriend's place and giving their mom's gift, like a box of lovely chocolates or bakery. Verse 18.
Then Naomi said, "Wait, my daughter, until you find out what's happened, for the man will not rise until the matter is settled today." Meanwhile, Boaz went to the town gate and sat there. When the kinsman redeemer he had mentioned came along, Boaz said, "Shall I? Come over here, my friends, and sit down." So he went over and sat down.
Oh, we're not going to reach to chapter 4 yet. Okay, so this is pretty much the opposite or contradicting what Naomi is saying in the beginning of the chapter. In the beginning of the chapter, Naomi tells Ruth to go sneak into Boaz's place and hide underneath his bed sheets and to go after him. And now she's waiting. Now she's saying to wait and be patient. Tell her to go and tell her to wait now. So it's the opposite. She's telling Ruth that if a man loves you and wants to be with you, he would figure it out. If he really wants to be with you, no matter what obstacles there are, he needs to face, he would figure it out. Now, this is not from me, but from more experienced pastors. Now, gentlemen, when you want to marry, when you love a woman, you want to marry her, there would be enormous obstacles between you and that marrying of that woman, and you would need to overcome that obstacle to marry her. Now, I believe that happens for 2 reasons. One, it allows a man to settle the issues in his heart, how devoted he truly is to that woman, how much he is willing to sacrifice, what is he willing to work through, what is he willing to pay or endure to be with that woman. Secondly, it then reveals the depth of his commitment to that woman. She knows if he's willing to go through this, overcome that, work through this obstacle, overcome this financial difficulty, for example, geographic limitation. He must really love me because he is willing to go above and beyond the call of his duty because he so desperately wants to be with me. Okay, let's go on to chapter 4 now. Let's see how Boaz marries Ruth and settles the matter with the other guy.
Meanwhile, Boaz went up to the town gate and sat there. When a kinsman redeemer he had mentioned came along, Boaz said, "Come over here, my friend, and sit down." So he went over and sat down. Boaz took 10 of the elders of the town and said, "Sit here." And they did so.
And
Then he said to the guardian redeemer, what? Yeah. Then he said to the guardian redeemer, Naomi, who has come back from Moab, is selling the piece of land that belonged to a relative, Elimelech. I thought I should bring the matter to your attention and suggest that you buy it in the presence of these seated here and in the presence of the elders of my people. If you will redeem it, do so. But if you will not, tell me, so I will know. For no one has a right to do it except you, and I am next in line.
okay, so
I'm not done yet. I will redeem it, he said.
Oh, okay. Okay, so the other guardian redeemer shows up. Boaz goes and confronts him. Boaz also brings 10 elders in the town as like his witnesses. Then he announces to them that Naomi is back and they have the piece of land belonging to Elimelech. He's asking him, you can redeem it, but if you don't, I'm next in line to redeem these things after you. The other guys, let's see. And the other guy says, I will redeem it. And how is Boaz going to overcome this obstacle so he can be with Ruth? So let's read verses 5 to 6.
Then Boaz said, "On the day you buy the land from Naomi and from Ruth the Moabitess, you acquire the dead man's widow, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property." At this, the kinsman redeemer said, "Then I cannot redeem it, because I might endanger my own estate. You redeem it yourself. I cannot do it."
Okay, so Boaz is saying, here's a piece of real estate or a house. Do you want to claim it and take responsibility of it? The guy says yes. But it also comes with a bitter mother-in-law, and she stays in the master bedroom. She stays. That's not a really good selling point. Suddenly he loses interest on the deal. On top of that, you would need to acquire Ruth the Moabite. Now, we don't really know why the other guy refuses the offer. We don't really have enough information. We can do a deductive Bible study to figure it out, but I read articles and it could be he's already have a family and married already, and he needs to give the inheritance to his current children. Maybe he's not in it for the money and property and does not want to redeem Ruth or Naomi. Or in the culture back in the day, if he was to redeem Ruth, the first child he has with Ruth will be considered as Malion's son to continue the family line. But it does say that I cannot redeem it because I might endanger my own estate. Let's continue, verse 7 to 8.
Now in earlier times in Israel, for the redemption and transfer of property to come final, one party took off his sandal and gave it to the other. This was a method of legalizing transactions in Israel.
So basically, that's like that's their way of signing a contract back in the day. Now let's continue reading verses 9 to 10.
Okay, so the king's redeemer said to Boaz, "Buy yourself," and he removed his sandals. Then Boaz announced to the elders and all the people, "Today you are witness that I have bought from Naomi all the properties of Elimelech, Chilion, and Mahlon. I have also acquired Ruth the Moabitess, Mahlon's widow, as my wife, in order to maintain the name of the dead with his property, so that his name will not disappear from among his family and from town records. Today you're witnesses."
Okay, so the bit is over. Boaz has the elders, has the witnesses, and he is willingly to be the guardian redeemer that will acquire all that belongs to Elimelech, including Naomi, the mother-in-law, and Ruth the Moabite, and all the property as well. Let's continue reading, 11 to 12.
Then the elders and all those at the gate said, "We are witnesses. May the Lord make the woman who is coming into your home like Rachel and Leah, who together built up the house of Israel.